That phrase your dad always said when you did something wrong. That way your mom reacted when you cried. You know what happened? That became you. Freud discovered how our parents literally program our personality in the first years of life. And today, I'm going to show you how this works in your life. Asterisk, before anything else. If you want to better understand how your mind works and discover the mysteries that Freud unraveled about all of us, subscribe to the channel right now. Hit the bell so you don't miss any insight that could change your life. And leave that like if you're also curious about what goes on in your head. Now, let's discover how you became you. Asterisk, have you ever stopped to think about why you react in a specific way when someone criticizes you? Why you're afraid of certain things? Why you always fall for the same type of person? The answer is in your childhood, but not the way you imagine. Freud discovered that our parents don't just raise us, they literally program our personality. And the most incredible part, they do this without even realizing it. It's like each family is a personality factory, and you are the final product. Asterisk, imagine your mind as a blank computer when you're born. Your parents are the first programmers. Every phrase they say, every reaction they have, every time they comfort you or ignore you, all of this becomes code in your mind. For example, if every time you cried, your mum said stop being dramatic, today you probably have difficulty expressing your emotions. If your dad always said you have to be strong, you may have become someone who doesn't ask for help even when you need it. Freud called this identification. You don't consciously choose to be like your parents, you absorb them like a sponge absorbs water. It's automatic, it's unconscious, and it's powerful. Asterisk, now comes the part everyone finds complicated, the Oedipus Complex. But relax, I'll explain it in a way you'll understand. Between ages 3 and 6, every child lives through an internal drama. They want to be the center of attention of their father or mother, and see the other as competition. It's not sexual like many people think. It's about love, attention, and place in the family. The boy wants to be special to mom, and kind of competes with dad. The girl wants to be special to dad, and competes with mom. This is normal, everyone goes through this. But here's where it gets interesting. How your parents handled this shaped your adult personality. If your father gave you balanced attention, you learned to relate well with authority. If he was too rigid or too absent, this created patterns you repeat today. For example, if your father was very critical, you may have become someone who seeks approval all the time. If your mother was overprotective, you may have difficulty making decisions alone. Asterisk, now comes an important part. You don't need to have suffered a huge trauma for your personality to be shaped. Freud discovered that microtraumas, these little things that seem small, are the ones that impact most. I'll give you practical examples. Every time you told something excitedly and your dad said, "I'll listen to you later," you learned that your things aren't important. Today you may have difficulty talking about yourself. Every time you made a mistake and your mum sighed with a disappointed face, you learned that making mistakes is unacceptable. Today you may be a perfectionist and terrified of failing. If your parents fought a lot in front of you, you learned that relationships are dangerous. Today you may sabotage your relationships before they go wrong. The craziest part is that your parents didn't do this on purpose. They were just being human, with their own fears and limitations. But for a child, each parent's reaction is like receiving an instruction about how the world works. Asterisk, you know that voice in your head that criticizes you all the time? That says, you shouldn't do this or you're not good enough. Freud discovered that this voice has a name, superego. The superego is basically your internalized parents. It's like you carry an internal version of them in your mind, judging everything you do. If your parents were very critical, your superego is a strict judge. If they were more relaxed, your internal voice is gentler. It's literally your parents' voice echoing in your head years later. For example, you're thinking about changing careers, but an internal voice says that's irresponsible. That might be your father's voice who always valued security. Or you're going to buy something for yourself and think what a waste of money. That might be your mother's voice who was always economical. The problem is, when this internal voice is too harsh, then you live sabotaging yourself, criticizing yourself, never feeling good enough. Asterisk, but here comes the good news. Recognizing these programmings is the first step to freeing yourself from them. Freud always said that what is unconscious controls us, but what we bring to consciousness, we can choose. I'll give you some practical questions. 1. What phrase did your parents always say that you still hear in your head? 2. What behavior of yours did you copy from your parents without realizing? 3. In what situations do you react exactly like your father or mother would react? 4. What fear do you have that might have come from some reaction from your parents? For example, if you're afraid of confrontation, it might be because your parents fought a lot and you learned that conflict is dangerous. If you are very controlling, it might be because your parents were chaotic and you learned you need to control everything to feel safe. The goal isn't to blame your parents. They did the best they could with the tools they had. The goal is to understand that you can choose differently. You can break patterns that no longer serve you. Freud discovered something incredible. When you understand why your parents acted in a certain way, you can forgive them more easily. And when you forgive your parents, you free yourself. Your parents were also children once. They were also programmed by their parents. It's a chain that has been passing from generation to generation. But you can be the one who breaks this chain. It doesn't mean you have to accept everything your parents did. It means you can understand that they were flawed humans, doing the best they could with their own limitations. And here's the power of psychoanalysis. When you understand your programming, you can reprogram your life. So, what did you think? Does it make sense to you? If this video helped you understand something about yourself, leave that cool like and subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed yet. Hit the bell because every week there's new content to help you decode the mysteries of your own mind. And now, I want to know from you, what behavior do you have that's exactly like your parents? What phrase did they always say that you still hear in your head? Tell me here in the comments. I read them all and always respond. See you in the next video.